Much for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today we are continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 2, verse number 26, Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hari, 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 Hari.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. You can please take over.
Yeah. Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Haribo. Shut the light. Shut the light in my room. Tato Nanda Vajam Ita Pitra Kamsad Vibhavyatya Ekadasa Samastatra Gudarchi Sabalovasat. Thereafter, his father, being afraid of Kamsa, brought him to the cow pastures of Maharaj Nanda, and there he lived for 11 years like a colored flame with his elder brother Baladev. Purport: there was no necessity of the Lord's being dispatched to the house of Nanda Maharaj out of fear of Kamsa's determination to kill him as soon as he appeared. It is the business of the Asuras to try to kill the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or to prove by all means that there is no God, or that Krishna is an ordinary human being and not God. Lord Krishna is not affected by such determination of men of Kamsa's class. But in order to play the role of a child, he agreed to be carried by his father to the cow pastures of Nanda Maharaj, because Vasudeva was afraid of Kamsa. Nanda Maharaj was due to receive him as a child, and Yasoda Mai was also to enjoy the childhood pastimes of the Lord, and therefore to fulfill everyone's desires. He was carried from Mathura to Vrindavan just after his appearance in the prison house of Kamsa. He lived there for 11 years and completed all his fascinating pastimes of childhood, boyhood, and adolescence with his elder brother, Lord Balaram. His first expansion, Vasudev's thought of protecting Krishna, was the wrath of Kamsa. It's part of the transcendental relationship. The Lord enjoys more when someone takes him as subordinate son who needs the protection of the father than he does when someone accepts him as the Supreme Lord. He is the father of everyone, and he protects everyone. When his devotee takes it for granted, the Lord is to be protected by the devotee's care. It is a transcendental joy for the Lord. Thus, when Vasudeva, out of fear of Kamsa, carried him to Braj, the Lord enjoyed it. Otherwise, he had no fear from Kamsa or anyone else. Om Yam Timirandasya Gena Jana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharini Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A very pastime revealing the nature of the Supreme Lord. He is the supreme power within existence. Coming into the material world, he plays the role of the ordinary living being, and therefore, just to give pleasure to his devotees, his father guides him in different ways, his mother corrects him in different ways. He loves that. He get when people talk to him about, oh, you are the Supreme Lord, we worship you and we offer glorification to you. He accepts that, but that doesn't really please him so much. But if someone chastises him or plays the role of protecting him or feeding him or restricting him, something like he enjoys that. But it has to be done by his devotee, of course, and it's done out of love, not out of wanting to control the Lord, because no one can put themselves in that position unless they have love for the Lord. And then that love that covers their Aishwarya relationship. They don't see him as the Lord, they see him as their son, their friend, their lover, their child, in different ways, just like we have relationships in this world with different people in different uh, situations, such as we have friends, we have superiors who guide us, we have parents who instruct us or show affection for us by showing care for us. So many ways we have relationships, and people have relationships and lover and beloved in different ways. So all of that is played out by the Lord, because all of these relationships that we have in this material world are simply reflections of the reality of the relationships that go on in the spiritual world, particularly and especially in Vrindavan Dham, not in Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, everyone knows the Supreme Lord is the absolute truth, and he's worshipped in that mood. But in Vrindavan, no one does, even if Krishna reveals himself. Just like there's one story where Krishna killed one demon, and it was a big demon. He was just a young boy, and his friends, the cowherd boys, circled around him and said, "Hey, Krishna, how did you do that? That was a big demon. I couldn't kill that demon. And yesterday I beat you in wrestling." And yeah, another boy said, "Yeah, yesterday I stole your lunch pail and you were crying. And now you killed this big demon. How is that?" Krishna didn't say anything. He was quiet. So they're all guessing, and then they continue their to guessing. One boy says, "Yeah, every day when he goes out, his mother gives him a mantra for chanting, and he chants this mantra, and it's powerful, kills demons." Another boy says, "Yeah, it is his mother, but she puts these armlets and amulets on his legs and arms, and he has this power, and so he can kill demons. So his mother gives him this power." So everybody's guessing different ways. Finally, Krishna looks at his friends and says, "You want to know?" They all get excited. "Yeah, how'd you kill that demon?" Well, he said, when before I was born, or just after I was born, my father was visited by this sage, and he said to my father, it was a secret meeting. He said to my father, "This boy of yours is very special. He's as good as Narayan himself, the Supreme Lord. In fact, not only is he good at Narayan, he is Narayan." And then this was revealed to my father. And then he said that to his friends, and his friends said, looked at each other, and they all start laughing. They said, "Now he thinks he's God." And they start chiding him and criticizing him for speaking like that. And then they're laughing, and then Krishna starts laughing, and nobody cares whether he's God. And then they all say, "Let's go play." Yeah, so they all go play. And they play all kinds of games. And he's their friend. He takes care of the cows, they help him, and they share lunch together, they play games together. They don't, but he's so attractive that everyone centers around him. He's the best. Sometimes they play the game where they see Krishna in the distance and they all run to see who could touch Krishna first. So they're all running to try to catch Krishna as Krishna's running. So the one that touches Krishna's first, he said, I did it, I touched Krishna first. I'm the winner. So they play like that. Or they imitate different birds and they fly along, flapping their hands. Or they go down to the well and make funny sounds into the well, and the well echoes back the sounds and they all start laughing. So in this way, they play so many games. And he enjoys playing like that. And his friends sometimes wrestle with him and beat him in wrestling. So this is the love in the spiritual world. It's full of joy. It's full of unlimited uh, varieties of ways to interact with Krishna in so many loving ways. And it's all done in pure love. So this is the spiritual world. This is the place that we all want to get to and get out of this material world, because you can never have a relationship in this world that is perfect. Even if you find the best relationship, some boy and girl relationship, after some time, it changes. And people become ordinary, they tolerate each other, and maybe if it even goes on for a little while, someone dies, the other person is sad for the rest of their life. So it's like that in this material world. There's no what we say, happiness that is continuous, and whatever happiness we get is usually mixed with various types of sufferings that come by the struggle to bring about a relationship, to keep the relationship, to develop the relationship. So this is the material world. There's no perfection here, and there's no real happiness here because it's all mixed. It's like if you have some sweet rice and somebody puts some sand in it and says, here, this is crunchy sweet rice. And you think, what is that? You've just ruined the whole preparation. So there's always the sand of material suffering that mixes in with everything we do in this material world. We want money and we struggle the hard to get money so we can do things, and we get some money, then we try to do things with the money, but it doesn't give us the happiness we expected. Somebody steals the money. Uh, your parents are really rich, and all of a sudden they they leave the family, and you have brothers and sisters, and everyone fights over who can get the inheritance. So it's just it's like it's just the the world is full of just difficulties, and that's the way it's set up, just so we don't actually decide to try to stay in this place. These sufferings are built in as a way to inspire us to go to a place where there's no suffering, because no one likes to suffer, no one likes to die, no one likes to be unhappy. Everyone likes success and everything, but that's not in this place. It's like trying to have a very happy party inside of a jail. So it's what can you do? That's the material life. But if we want that, it's in the spiritual world. Here it says that Krishna, he left his his place in Mathura in the jail cell. He arranged for his father Vasudeva to take him to Vrindavan, not because he was afraid of Kamsa. Kamsa couldn't do anything to him. Even if he was a little baby, still he has all of the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any form he takes in the material world. But his parents were worried. They were seeing him and they were thinking, we have to protect him. So they took him there. But also was Krishna's desire. Krishna wanted to go to Vrindavan where he can actually experience his real mood of being the unlimited transcendental happy boy who plays with his friends, who has lovers, whose parents uh, chastise him, feed him, cuddle him, so many different ways. He loves this. This is all, it makes Krishna supremely happy. And that's the whole principle of bhakti, is to give happiness to Krishna. And that's the principle of ultimate happiness when he is in a position of equality or in a position of being subordinate. When he's in a position of being superior, he accepts that, but it doesn't give him much pleasure. Prabhupada talks about in the material world, sometimes you see that. There was one governor, he was a governor of Bengal, and one man wanted to come and see him. And so he made an appointment. So he arrived around appointment time. And his secretary said to the man, well, you'll have to wait. He's busy now, but he'll come and see you after some time. So the man is waiting, waiting. It's going on for some time. It's almost 2 hours he's waiting. He gets a little impatient. He decides to find out what's the governor doing. So he goes to the door of the governor and he just opens it up to look in and see. And he sees the governor is on his all fours, his hands and knees, and his little child is riding on his back and he's playing horsey with the kid. So the governor is enjoying playing with his little friend and he just forgets about all of his, his administration work. He has to do that, but anyway. So this is love. So if you go to the spiritual world, you get to love Krishna in different ways and play with Krishna. And there's a variety of activities all based on your relationship with Krishna. So this material world is what it is. It's just a place that you have to rectify our deviant mentality for wanting to leave Krishna in the first place. Once that's rectified, it's rectified only by the process of bhakti. And bhakti is just as joyful as the solution of bhakti, or I meant to say the conclusion of bhakti. So we chant, we dance, we eat nice food, we meet nice people, and we discuss philosophy, we practice that philosophy, we try to give that philosophy and practice to others. So Krishna consciousness is nice. Even in the material world, we can experience a little element of that happiness that is there in the spiritual world. Because Krishna will relate to us even while we're here in this material world. So that is the process of bhakti. So one of the names of Krishna is called Leela Purushottam. He is that person who enjoys transcendental exchanges with his devotees. And that's mentioned in the 9th canto, just before we introduce Krishna and his pastimes in Vrindavan in the beginning of the 10th. At the very end of the 9th canto is a beautiful verse describing why Krishna actually leaves the jail cell of Kamsa to go to Vrindavan, because he wants to perform his leelas with his eternal devotees, his pure devotees in the spiritual, in the material world. But even though they are in the material world, still those pastimes, just like it says, this is an interesting statement. It's mentioned by Srila Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instructions. He says, higher than the spiritual world is Krishna's pastimes in Mathura, in this material world, higher than Vaikuntha. Higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura. Higher than Mathura is Krishna in the forests of Vrindavan. Higher than Krishna and playing in the forests of Vrindavan is Krishna in Govardhan Hill, where he performs his intimate pastimes with his devotees in a mood of loving relationships, mostly in the Madhurya Ras. So yeah, the gradations, even in this world, are superior to Vaikuntha, which is the spiritual world. That's quite revealing when you think about it, how Krishna's pastimes in this material world are more saturated with ras, or happiness, mellow, sweetness, than the activities of Krishna in Vaikuntha. Not Vrindavan, but Vaikuntha. But still, that's the spiritual world. So these are some things that we can think about, but one cannot somehow or other jump up to that relationship with Krishna. One has to qualify themselves by purifying themselves through the process of bhakti. That purification centers mostly around chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because Chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the essence of one's development of pure devotional consciousness. So therefore, one should understand that this chanting is the most powerful and most effective way to actually move towards our lower consciousness into the realms of higher consciousness. And by the holy name of Lord alone, if we start freeing ourselves from all of the offenses, come to the stage of pure chanting, then we can actually enter into Krishna's pastimes even while we're in this material world. The holy name is so powerful. So, three things: the holy name, association, and with service to Vaishnavas, especially strict adherence to the instructions given to us by our spiritual master, and associating with devotees, sharing Krishna consciousness, developing love for the devotees, developing friendship with the devotees and love and trust, of course, and moving into the family of Vaishnavas. Just like in this world, we have our brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, and so many, we have a family members here. That is our material family. And we are forced into that family by our karma. We don't choose the people we are with. We develop a relationship based on being in that environment, but we are we're situated in our karmic reaction, and we get a birth according to our collective karma after so many births. Each birth has a collection of the previous births that manifests in the form of the birth we take in our next life. So these people that we call mother, father, friends, brothers, like that, they're all we've thrown together by our uh, karmic, you may say, activities, material activities based on the three modes of material nature. But in the spiritual world, we develop relationships not on any kind of karma, but of our desire to serve Krishna and to purify ourselves and develop our love for Krishna. And when we enter into the Sangha of devotees who are doing that, it becomes very satisfying. Devotees see each other as their well-wisher, their friend, someone who they can share Krishna consciousness with and also become advanced in Krishna consciousness by assisting each other in that same process. So the spiritual family, we can practice becoming qualified to enter the spiritual family in the material world. And then when we leave the world, we go into the greater spiritual family in the spiritual world. And there's Krishna and all of our uh, loving God brothers, God sisters, all of us on the same platform. This is the reality of existence. It's not some euphemism, some imagination, somebody's idea, some great stories that some creative writer made up. It is a reality. It is a fact. And people who have achieved that level, sometimes they re-enter into the material world just to teach us what it's like in the spiritual world. Sometimes they come in dreams, sometimes they come personally to do the work of the Lord by coming down. And that's one of those persons was Srila Prabhupada. He didn't come here simply by the law of karma. He came here as a messenger of Krishna to bring eternal religious principles to the world at the most difficult time when the world was going through a lot of turbulence. And that turbulence is still there, but there is also now that element of purity that's entering into the world, and that is pure devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the process by which we get out of this cycle of birth, death, disease, and old age, and miseries of the body, mind, miseries of other living entities, miseries of higher powers, so many forms of suffering that come in this material world. We leave this place just like when you go to the bathroom, you take care of your needs and then you leave. You don't stick around in the bathroom and you put a table there and have prasadam in the bathroom. You don't have a party in the bathroom. You don't dance in the bathtub. decorate the windows in the bathrooms so you can have a nice atmosphere. You get out after you're done with your business. So this world, and this has been spoken by the acharyas, is like a bathroom. You do your duty and get out of here and go back to the real place where life is eternal, full of knowledge and unlimited happiness. So this is our desire. We can understand that this reality of spiritual existence is there simply by our desire to live forever. We don't want to die. We want to live forever. Why? Because we do live forever. We're eternal. We just can't live forever in the body we are. But we do live eternally. Never was the time that I did not exist, you, nor all the kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Krishna speaks this verse in the Bhagavad Gita at the very beginning. The kings you see on the battlefield, O Arjuna, they're eternal. I'm eternal. You're eternal. We live eternally in one situation or another. We never die. So we want to live forever because that's our nature. And we want unlimited happiness because that's also part of our nature, because the soul is by nature Sat Chit Ananda. It's eternal, has complete knowledge, and it's full of unlimited joy. But in this world, we can't experience the nature of the soul. It's not Sat, it's Asat. It's not Chit, it's Achit, and it's Nirananda. There is no happiness here. So what we're looking for is not in this place, but it can be found in our relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world. And that's why Krishna comes, just to remind us, hey, I'm coming to remind you who you are and what you forgot. And he performs his pastimes, invites his devotees to enjoy even while he comes in the material world, so that we can taste that happiness, and that will prepare us to go back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna is called Lila Purushottam. He loves to perform loving in relationships with his parts and parcels. He's a person. He has unlimited desires to enjoy, and he likes to enjoy different relationships with his devotees in loving devotional service in different moods. All of that is there in the spiritual world. Okay, so don't stay in this material world. When I was there was a there was a rock and roll song when I was a kid. It was really good. It said, "We have to get out of this place. It's the last thing we ever do. We have to get out of this place." And it was a pretty good, interesting rock and roll song. So yeah, we got to get out of this material world, and then there is a way out, and that is bhakti, not by gyan, not by karma, not by yoga, not by austerities, not by penances, not by chanting mantras, not by being a nice guy or a nice girl, not by anything other than the process of bhakti. Bhakti amama vijananti, yavan yas chatpitatpara. Only by bhakti can you enter into my relationship. And bhakti is nice because it's the nature of the soul. It's not contrary to anything that we are. It's actually our nature is to love and serve the Supreme Lord. Just like the nature of water is liquidity and it has taste, nature of fire is to give warmth and heat and light. So the nature of sugar is sweet, the nature of chili is pungent. So everything has its nature. The nature of living entity is to love and serve the Supreme Personality of God. And the highest form of that service is being given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his teaching the mood of Sri Vrindavan through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and service to the Vaishnavas. His teachings center around these two main principles. Of course, there's other activities he performed, but he emphasizes, you always see him with his devotees, serving in different ways, giving pleasure to his devotees, enjoying kirtan, uh, interacting, joking with each other. They have, and as he preaches in the material world, others become his followers also, and then they enter into that eternal dancing party. So that's Lord Chaitanya. He made the process even easier than Krishna made it. But he's Krishna himself, but he's Namo Mahavananaya Krishna Prema Padayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. Namadi Goda Tristaya. He is very magnificent, very merciful, and very much available to his devotees through the process of Harinam Sankirtan. So one of the ways, and one of the main ways to please Lord Chaitanya is to do kirtan. We enjoy kirtan because it's singing and dancing. We like that, but it also, when we do it as an offering to the Lord, that pleases the Lord very much. And then he blesses his devotees with transcendental knowledge and transcendental happiness. It says here that one who, it mentions that in performing his pastimes every day in his Gaur Leela, if one reads those pastimes and enters into the mood of these pastimes, they can enjoy the same transcendental happiness that Lord Chaitanya experiences when he performs these pastimes. This is the power of his mercy. It flows like an unraging river, or like a raging river, into the hearts and minds of anyone who seriously takes it up. Okay, so of course there are many other activities we perform, but the essence is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mara. Such a wonderful class. And yeah, without bhakti, it's very hard to reach to Krishna. And thank you so much for emphasizing on all these points. Thank you.
It's not
Uh,
hard to reach Krishna. It's hard to stop playing with the material energy. That's that's our problem. We stop trying to become happy with the material energy, then it's easy to reach Krishna.
yeah. But
We're st-
without coming into bhakti process or devotion, we can't reach Krishna, right, Maharaj?
no, only by bhakti. Yeah, Krishna says
Yeah.
only by bhakti.
Bhakti. Yeah.
But
Thank you.
bhakti's the nature of the soul. It's not foreign to your existence. We have bhakti, and bhakti's there in everything we do. There's elements of bhakti. We have relationships on this level, and there's some elements of bhakti in there, but it's mixed with our personal desires. It's pushed in different ways by the material energy according to how we connect. Greed, lust, anger, illusion, pride, all of these things enter into the mood of bhakti and just pollute it. Just like, as I mentioned, if you put some sand in the sweet rice, nobody will really enjoy the sweet rice.
Mm. Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you. Devotees, any questions or comments, you can please go ahead now. Please turn on your cameras if
Yeah,
possible.
we want to see everybody at all times, at all places, all situations, whether your hair is up in curlers, or you just woke up in the morning, or
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
still, still trying to find your way around the house. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
almost everyone are opening.
we're
Yes.
now. Now it's becoming transcendently exciting just to see everyone. We have, we need at least two more. We got 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. We need 25 to fill the screen up. Two more. No, we're not getting two more. We got 43 altogether.
Yes,
And we
Maharaj.
got 23. Okay, 24. One more at least. Okay, Prahlad Nrsimha, he did it. He's the cherry on the cake. Okay. Nice to see everyone smiling. There's a few of you who are not smiling because that's your nature. But anyway, at least it's the material nature. Himanshi, she's always smiling. She can't stop smiling. She smiles so much she can't even stand up. She falls over. Well, I see some really transcendental personalities out there. I'm going to dive into the screen and see if I can get your association.
Good.
Okay.
Do you see any questions?
Okay. Philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you,
Who
Maharaj.
has the first, who has the first question? The question is,
Yeah.
what am I doing in this material world and how can I get out? Well, okay.
Vedram Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Maharaj, you mentioned that fire has its own nature to give heat and light. Sugar has its own nature of giving sweetness. Similarly, we have a soul have a nature to serve. So my question was, if sugar doesn't forget its nature, if fire doesn't forget its nature, how does we forget our original nature and stop loving Krishna?
When you come to the material world, you take on a material body, and then you start identifying with the body as the self. And then you start performing activities centered around the body and the extensions of the body, which are friends, family, members, society. The body is the crippling principle of our forgetfulness, because we get a body, we think I'm the body, and therefore I have to do what is necessary to give pleasure to this body, to give comfort to this body, to give longevity to the body. So, but we have to realize that our body is a vehicle, not it's not us. It's something that'll get us from one place to another, but it's not something that is our identity. We are not anything. Janasamoham yamaham mameti. I'm not any identity that I may somehow adopt in this world. The adopted identities are simply playing roles in this world. But we have to understand, just like you see an actor on the stage, so you might see your friend who's playing a role on the stage, and because he's covered by a certain costume and he's playing a different role, you don't recognize that your friend there playing the role until the play is over. Oh, that was you, yeah. So we're playing this drama of material world. It's a melodrama, it's a satire, it's a tragedy. So these are we enter into this material drama. And we play expertly. We want to become, the main player in the drama. And that's our problem. So it all starts with the body, because there's no question of anything else. Any other material identity cannot manifest unless you have a body. It all comes from the body. And the mind, you might say, because that includes body means body and mind. So we have to go beyond this identity of body and mind through the process of transcendental knowledge and the practice of bhakti to help us understand I have a body, but I'm not the body. I need to take care of the body, just like a car is a very useful vehicle to get you from one place to another. So you take care of it. You keep it clean, you change the oil, you put in the fuel to make it go. When it breaks down, you repair it. So in the same way, we do that to the body, but we don't think I'm the car. So if you can use that analogy, it's quite nice because it aligns itself really pretty much with the idea of body conception of life. This body is a vehicle to get us out of this material world back to the spiritual world. By using the body, mind, senses, and everything in relation to it in the service of the Lord. That's all. If we fail to do that, then the body will bring us more and more into the entanglement of material energy. We can still have material activities, but we shouldn't think that these are activities are our real activities. They're just necessary to maintain the body in this world, that's all. So it's not easy. You have to play the role of being in the material world, but at the same time, you have to know what is your real identity and what is your real activities and what is your real source of success. Because there's no success in this material world. Success is lost in all stages of life, and ultimately, when the body ends, everything you live for is gone, finished, no more. It's all gone. And then you start another chapter doing the same thing again. It's like a big book with different chapters. So yeah, so this is what Bhakti teaches. Krishna, in the very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, gives us so many examples of the difference between the soul and the body, between what is material, what is spiritual, what is eternal, and what is temporary. He spends at least 20 verses very emphasizing these principles. And he starts off teaching that. That's the first thing he says. Dehino smin yata dehi govardam yovanam jarat yata dehantar bhaktir dhirastatra namuyanti. And then the living entity traverses from boyhood to youthhood to old age. And similarly, it travels into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such changes. And then he goes on to explain more and more principles that are related to the difference of the body and the soul. Why does he start there? Because that's the basic principle of spiritual life. One has to at least theoretically know, you may not know it by realization, but you at least theoretically know, I'm not this body. I am something else than this body. I'm not the husband of this wife. I'm not the wife of this husband. I'm not the mother of this child. This is the role I play in this world.
Maharaj, we are using this body as the medium. Then how can we constantly be aware that we are not this medium? It is separate from us.
By
And
staying in contact with transcendental knowledge, stay in contact with the hearing process and acting on that by engaging in devotional service. But all of the proxy, all of the different principles, all of the different, what's the word? All of the different processes of bhakti it develops from hearing. Shravanam is first. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshiping, all of the 9 process all starts with and develops from the hearing process. That's why we have these classes, to keep hearing about transcendental knowledge, keep hearing about our identity, and try to understand how we can realize our position as spirit soul through the process of bhakti. That's why these classes are going on. It's for our spiritual edification. Hearing. Hearing, understanding, applying, like that. If we hear, but we don't change based on the knowledge we have, we get stuck and we just hear for the sake of hearing and don't make any any adjustments in the way we live our life, then the hearing process will have very little effect. But hearing alone is powerful. It's one of the 9 ways that one can become self-realized. Maharaj Parikshit became perfect through hearing. He heard from Sukadev Goswami, who became perfect from chanting. Prahlad Maharaj became perfect from remembering. Akrura became perfect by offering prayers. Hanuman became perfect by carrying out instructions. Lakshmi Devi became perfect by serving the lotus feet. Bali Maharaj became perfect by surrendering everything to Krishna. Arjun became perfect by becoming a friend of Krishna. So all of the 9 processes, are there. That there's perfection in any one of it, all of them. But the most important one is to hear and to chant. One has to include the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in each one of the other 8 processes. Otherwise, the other 8 processes will not reach perfection. That is the special feature of this age of Kali, Lord Chaitanya's direction, to hear, to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And that's powerful. That's very powerful. If we take it simply as a routine duty that we have to do every day, we may not be able to enter into the mercy of the holy name. We should do it as the most important activity of our day and put complete attention, concentration, and as much devotion as we can in our chanting. That's why it's first. It's first. That's So yeah, the process works, but and this is why we're here. We're here to discuss how the process and how it works and how to clarify our doubts, how to clarify our misconceptions of the execution of the process, how to get over our attachments in this material world. Keep hearing. Don't stop hearing. But here, as Prabhupada mentions, you have to hear with rapt attention. That means absorption in the hearing process. And that leads to meditation on the principles that you're hearing, which awakens the soul's nature. Because the mind will interfere with the sound vibration that's coming into the soul. The mind should be the medium by which the sound vibration becomes successful and not block it. So we have to keep the mind focused on the activities of devotional service. And when the mind goes away, as Krishna says, Chanchala himana Krishna pramati pralabhadriha tasyaham nirman manye vayaridam saduskriham. That's Arjuna speaking that. He's saying, you're asking me to control the mind, but I think it's like trying to control the wind. Krishna said, yeah, it's difficult, but avasamya sukuntaya vairagya chagriyate. It can be done by constant practice and detachment from material activities. Now, the process is there. Focus on the positive, learn how to distance yourself from things that take you away from Krishna consciousness. All that's explained in Nectar Devotion. We're explaining it here in Srimad Bhagavatam also. Krishna explains it in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna goes out of his way, you might say, to somehow or other reach us with this process. He does everything. He comes personally. He sends his pure representative. He sends the scriptures. He comes in his deity form, comes in the form of prasadam, comes in the form of spiritual activities. And then if we don't get it, he comes in the form of suffering. Krishna is he's so enthusiastic to somehow or other bring us back here. You would cry if you really knew how much Krishna loved you. You wouldn't be able to live in this world. His love for you is so great that it's not possible. No one can love anyone like Krishna loves the living entities. And he sees every living entity as very being dear to him. Because he's the one, we are coming from him, we belong to him, and ultimately we're separated by him by this material energy. So cutting through the material energy means to come back to Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Mataji, Amritana Mataji.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much for this elaborated answer. Yes, Krishna does give us, although we are ignorant, but yes, he does give us glances of his love towards us, and we do feel it. Although we are ignorant, we can't feel it all the time because of our conditioning. But he does love us. I can
You
understand it.
you can't
Thank you.
live. You can't even live for a moment unless Krishna favors you. It's not possible.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I'm grateful to you, Guru Maharaj, that only because of you and Srila Prabhupada, little bit we could understand this fact. That yes, Krishna does love us.
And Prashadam.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, there is a question before going to Shiv Kumar Prabhu. There is a follow-up question from Amritana Mataji's question. Darya Mataji is asking, how does the soul interact with the body and what makes it asat?
The soul never touches the body, it's in the body. Spirit and matter cannot interact. It's more like being inside of a cage. But the soul is the energy source of the body. And everything that the body does is getting its energy from the soul. The soul is active even while in this body, but covered like that. So we say we see through the eyes, we don't see with the eyes. We hear through the ears don't hear, they're just instruments. The mind is being used as a medium by which we interact with the external environment and bring in things from the external environment. So the soul has senses, the soul has mind, the soul has form, everything. But it's all working through the external energy, which is the body. But because we identify with the body, therefore we say that this is happening by way of the activities of my body and mind and senses. But actually, it's all happening because of the presence of the soul. Just like you have a light bulb sitting in your room. Is the light bulb the source of light? No. Is the wire connected to the light bulb the source of light? No. Is the power station outside the source of light? No. It's behind all of that, there is an energy source that is feeding that whole system. And that's the source. Behind everything is Krishna.
So,
He is life itself.
so the soul is not present in the material world, she is asking.
Oh, it's present, but it's trapped. Trapped in his body. It's like a prison. You're in the prison, but you're limited because of the existence of the prison. You're in this body, but you're limited because of the presence of the body limits you. And everything around you is of the same nature. It's material also. So you're in a foreign world, foreign nature. You're spirit, but you're surrounded by matter. But then you have to spiritualize matter by using matter in the service of the Lord. So we have the example in the Shastras, Maharaj Ambrish. He used all of his senses, mind, intelligence, ability, everything in the service of the Lord. He used his ears to hear the glories of the Lord, his eyes to see the beautiful form of the Lord, his legs to walk to the temple of the Lord, his tongue to taste the prasadam of the Lord and to speak the glories of the Lord. So that's taking the material energy and purifying it through the activities of devotion to the Lord.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Shiv Kumar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance at your lotus feet. Maharaj, one question I had, Maharaj, on chanting. Couple of times I have heard in last few classes, Maharaj, that you were mentioning chanting is glorification of Krishna. I just wanted to understand, Maharaj, as to how chanting is glorification, because I was of the understanding that speaking of Krishna's qualities or pastimes is what is glorifying Krishna. So I did not know that chanting itself is glorification, Maharaj. Just wanted to hear from you.
Chanting the name of Krishna is a glorification of Krishna. Because he gives us the process through his pure devotees, how to worship him, how to glorify him. So chanting, the word kirtan comes from the word kirti. Kirti is the etymological root word for the word kirtan. And kirti means fame. So one who chants the holy name is spreading the fame of the all-famous Lord. So that's the meaning of kirtan. It also has a second meaning. Those who glorify the Lord by chanting also become famous in the eyes of the Lord. So chanting his name, his forms, his qualities, his pastimes, spiritual world, all of these things are aspects of glorification. Just like when we want to somehow interact with a person, we might speak about how wonderful they are, how nicely they do their activities. We praise each other sometimes in different ways when we see someone does something wonderful or acts in a wonderful way or exhibits certain qualities that are very attractive. So in the same way, Krishna is there. We just focus on Krishna, that's all. His name is him. His name is not different than him. This is the quality of spirit, which is not there in matter. Matter is relative. Matter is something is in relationship to something else. Everything is of the opposite. You can't understand heat unless you have cold. Can't understand good unless you have bad. So we understand things in relationship, but in the spiritual nomenclature, it's not like that. It's an absolute. Krishna's name is Krishna. Krishna's form is Krishna. Krishna's qualities are Krishna. Krishna's pastimes are Krishna. It's not relative. So when you chant Krishna's name, you're associating with Krishna in sound. Sound is another form of Krishna. What is that verse? Kali Kale, Namarupa, Krishna avatar, Namrup. The name, Rupa means form. Kali Kale, in this age of Kali, the form of the Lord is the avatar of Krishna in this age.
Thank you so much. I know.
So if you want the secret for success, just keep chanting, that's all. Don't stop. Just chant, chant, chant.
Yes, ma'am.
Chant kirtan, chant japa. If you get tired of chanting the name, read the prayers that are glorifications of Krishna. That's also kirtan.
Yes. Thank you. I'll do.
And as you do that, you start to awaken to your relationship with Krishna. Krishna reveals himself through your bhakti. It's not just you're just performing an activity, you're actually coming closer to Krishna. You're understanding his qualities, you're understanding his transcendental forms. You actually start understanding how he does things and why he does things the way he does. You get to know Krishna as he is. Imagine that.
Yes.
And he's cool. He's the greatest. He's the best. Everything he does is far out. It's not part of this material world.
Mm.
And he has so many activities. But we're not interested in Krishna. We're interested in what we can get from Krishna. That's our problem. We have to become interested in Krishna,
Yes.
the person.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. As you were speaking of getting more and more absorbed in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, I was thinking about, and you also said, but we keep dallying with the material energy, and so we cannot get so absorbed. So I was thinking, when does that seed of material enjoyment finally get crushed forever so that we are no more looking to the material energy, but we want to completely serve in the spiritual energy?
When you become fully detestful of all material activities, when you see material activities lead to suffering. Yeah, every material activity leads to suffering, no matter how glorious or how wonderful it is. And the attachment to anything material, the stronger the attachment, the greater the suffering. Because it has to change in due course of time. And eventually has to leave us in due course. So you might say, well, I'll just enjoy it while it's here. No, you won't, because you can't enjoy something that is contrary to your nature. You might find a little satisfaction in that, but that's only on the mental platform. It doesn't reach the soul. Only bhakti reaches the soul. And bhakti and soul is situated on the heart. That's why when the heart becomes nourished, and when the soul becomes nourished, the heart starts to blossom. It's not the heart that loves, it's the soul that's situated on the heart. There's where you are in the body. You are not in the heart, you're on the heart. The heart's a seat. You are sitting on your heart right now. That's where you are. The heart's only a machine, but that's the area of emotion. But why is it the area of emotion? Because the soul is in that area. So when you say, I give you my heart, if somebody gives you your heart, you think, oh my God, what am I going to do with this bloody mess? You know, that's all it is. But when you're saying that, you're actually saying, I'm giving myself to you, because the soul is situated on the heart. It's so much connected to the heart, you can't make a distinction between the heart and the soul. They're so intimately connected in terms of location. So when the mind breaks, still, the heart still connects. That's why sometimes you can break your connection on the mental level with life. But until you break your connection on the heart level with life, life will go on in the material world. It may be impeded by mental break, but it can never be impeded when the break comes at the heart level. Sometimes people have an out-of-body experience. You see that. They're having an operation. It's so severe that they actually hover above their own body watching the operation. They can see it. The soul inside the spirit, the subtle body is watching the physical body being operated on the operating table. It happens all the time. People leave their body, but they come back because the heart connection has not broken. The mind connection gets broken. And then the heart connection will bring the mind back to the body. So you even see that. You can get these experiences. I'm sure everyone has it. Sometimes we have it at night in dreams. We break our connection with the physical body, and we're connected on the subtle body. It's still within the mind, but it's more subtle. But when it gets broken completely, then that's liberation, or then the soul is free from the body. Body's a prison, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Guru Maharaj. My obeisance.
Thank you.
Manisha has a question.
Yeah, yes, Maharaj. She has a follow-up on this. So whatever good or bad happens with us is not related with heart, but related with our soul.
It's related with the mind. The mind makes up these ideas of good and bad. That's where Lord Chaitanya said, in the material world, there's nothing good. Good and bad can be applied to what's favorable for spiritual life and what's unfavorable for spiritual life. And we use different words. We say favorable and unfavorable. Good and bad means something against my desires in this world, something to fulfill my desires in this world. But that is all simply an adaptation. That's all. What's good and bad is relative to what we make as good and bad. For some people, good and bad is one way. For another person, good and bad is another way. So which one is it? Is it this way or that way? It's neither, because anything material takes you away from Krishna. Therefore, in one sense, it's all bad. But if you can connect the material to the spiritual, then the material becomes spiritual also. And then that's what's favorable for our developing our relationship with Krishna. You can see even in the material world, one person will say this is good and another person will say this is bad, same thing. They'll look at the same thing and they'll give a judgment based on their own, mental ideas, mental concoctions. I was in Denver, Colorado back in the year 2006, in the middle of, right around the Christmas time. And I had to travel from one place to another in America. And then there was this tremendous snowstorm that buried the whole city in snow. Nobody could move. More than 2,000 flights were canceled. Shops were closed, schools were closed, businesses were closed. Everything stopped, came to a halt. And so many people were saying, oh, this is so bad. But then in that area, there's ski slopes. And the skiers were thinking, this is great. We got this nice snow. And so, yeah, so this came on the news. The skiers were thinking, hey, this is good. Everyone's saying, no, it's not good. So what is good and bad? It's your opinion, that's all. It's an opinion.
Maharaj.
Some
Thank
people say a person will die, and they'll say, oh, that's bad, but it might be good because now the person will go back to the spiritual world. So how can you say death is bad? It's not. For some it is, for some it's elevation to a higher level of life. So good and bad is all relative. It's an opinion only. It's a creation of the mind.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you so much. Radha Bhakti Priya, Mataji, please go ahead.
Mhm.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Guru Maharaj, you mentioned that we do not know how much Krishna loves us. So, if he loves us so much, so how can he cease to Jiva struggling with the material miseries, or even someone practice in devotional services or go deeper in the devotion? The topmost thing he got the pain of separation or vipralamba bhav. So, where his one glance of grace is enough to make Jiva eligible to go to back to Godhead. So, how can which kind of love is this? So, can you please elaborate it?
One has experienced separation from Krishna, and therefore one is feeling unhappy because of that.
Both of Guru Maharaj in the material miseries, Jiva struggling in material, we struggling with the material activities, or even we go to deeper in the devotion. So the topmost thing we got the pain of separation. So how can he sees us to Jiva in this situation? So which kind of love is this? So can you please?
And yeah, that's the experiencing separation from Krishna is another element of love for Krishna. And we have, it's in the material world, when people love each other and they're separated, their love increases, at least initially. But with Krishna, that love is always there, and now it's being experienced as not being there. It's called the dark night of the soul. The soul is actually happy, but it's experiencing that happiness in the form of separation. So, because in the heart, there is the thought of Krishna, the love is still there, but feeling separation makes the love seem painful. It's like a chutney. It's very sweet, but at the same time, it's very pungent. So, love of God is like that, at least in the mood of Vipralambha. But it's a preliminary. When you feel separation from Krishna, that's good. If you don't feel separation from Krishna, you're in trouble. That means you haven't really developed any relationship with Krishna. Separation is the beginning of that relationship. I'm in this material world and I'm suffering. Why? Because I have broken my relationship with Krishna. That's the beginning of loving Krishna, actually. And in that expression of separation, one is remembering Krishna more and more. It's not that we forget Krishna in separation, we remember him more and more. We think, when can I meet Krishna? When can I be with Krishna? So then we think, let me serve Krishna. Maybe he'll come and accept my service, and then I can experience his presence. So that's the mood. So it's sweet, but it's also, there's somewhere in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I don't know where it is, it describes love of God has 5 ingredients. Who knows that verse? It's a really quite remote verse. What does it have? It has camphor, it has sugar cane, it has, what else? 5 ingredients: camphor, sugar cane, 4 very transcendental, ambrosial things that are just so sweet and so satisfying and so, what we say, heart touching. But then there's one element, the last one is black pepper. That's the 5th ingredient. So that's what love is like. Haribol. You can experience in the material world when you love somebody, and then there is that element of unhappiness in that love that causes that love to make it unhappy. When you lose the association of that person or you feel separated from that person. Oh, yeah, okay. Prahlad Nrsimha found it. Madhya Leela 19,182. Can you go to that?
Yes, Maharaj. I'm also
Not-
searching. Yeah, thank you.
See if he found the right verse, because there are many verses that are similar. But let's see. 19.
Madhya Leela, 19th chapter. Yes, Maharaj.
That's called Rupa Shiksha. Lord Chaitanya taught Rupa Goswami the science of pure bhakti.
182.
Yeah, it's really nice because it's all ingredients that we like. But then you throw some black pepper in there. These tastes are like a combination of yogurt, sugar, candy, ghee, black pepper, and camphor, as they are all as impalpable as sweet nectar. So you have to see the previous verse so you know what this verse is referring to. So go to 181 at least, or go to the listing of the verses. Yeah, that's easier. Go all the way down to 180 at least and see where it starts. Here we go, 179. The gradual development of prema may be compared to different states of sugar. First, there is the seed of sugarcane, then and then the juice extracted from cane. When this juice is boiled, it forms liquid molasses, then solid molasses, then sugar candy, then candy, rock candy, and finally lozenges. All these are combined, are called sattvika bhava, or continuous love of God in devotional service. When the higher standard of ecstatic is mixed with sattvic and vibhavacharya, the devotee relishes transcendental bliss of loving Krishna in variety of tastes. These tastes are a combination of these things. According to the devotee, attachment falls in these 5 categories, and these are the different rasas. The chief transcendental mellows are 5, the 5 mellows. Besides these 5, the indirect mellows. Example. So these are all examples of using different elements that are very attractive and tasty to describe what is love of God, which is just an analogy to give you a little hint that there is everything wonderful there, but at the same time, there is that black pepper. Ooh. I was sitting with one of my godbrothers the other day, and we were having lunch. It was sweet rice at the end. And he took some black pepper and started putting, this happened just 3 days ago. He took some black pepper and started putting it in the sweet rice. And I'm saying, what are you doing? He said, this is the way I was taught to make sweet rice when I was a brahmachari. You add a little black pepper to the sweet rice. So I tried it and I thought, that's pretty nice. So we were getting a little bit of Vipralamba Bob in the form of Vipralamba sweet rice.
Okay. You back from Lithuania?
Okay. Okay, so here's a little example using the element of taste.
Radha Bhakti Mataji, is it okay?
Yes, yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Did
Guru
you
Maharaj, now we know why do you love chutney so much.
I love chutney.
Yes.
I love pizza also. But don't start ordering pizza right now. So don't. Everyone has their taste. One time they gave Prabhupada a donut with sugar glaze on the outside. This was in America somewhere. I think it was in San Diego. And Prabhupada took the donut and he started licking the sugar glaze off the outside without eating the donut. And the devotees are looking. And Prabhupada would turn to them and said, everyone has their taste. What talks about how one person he knew, he used to take ketchup. You know what ketchup is, right? He would put ketchup on a rasgulla. Prabhupada would say, "Oh," when he's talking about how, but he said, "Yeah, everybody has their taste." Can you imagine ketchup on a rasgulla? Oh my God. So some tastes are in the modes of ignorance, some tastes are in the mode of passion, some tastes are in the mode of goodness, and then there's transcendental taste.
Thank you, Maharaj.
How can people eat, meat that's like dead bodies, but they consider that very tasty. Devotees just think about that, they get sick. Just thinking about it. So, because the devotees are like swans. Swans go for the ambrosial atmosphere, for the nectar. And there's a class of people called the gross materialists. They're like crows. They go for the garbage. So crows go for the garbage, and the swans go for the beautiful celestial atmosphere and beautiful clear waters. So in the same way, crows don't mix with swans, and swans don't mix with crows. Because the birds of the same feather flock together. So there are crow-like people and there are swan-like people. And there's a few pigeons in between.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you
So
so much.
you can understand the philosophy using analogies in this material world. Then we can get a little insight what it's like, what transcendental knowledge is like. These analogies are not the conclusion, they're just an insight to see things in a more clearer way. That's
So, Maharaj, I have a question. So when we are depending on Lord, like the dependency on the Lord, when it will start? Like, is it before bhakti or starts, or first dependency starts and then bhakti starts, or when you come into the bhakti process, then only the dependency on the Lord starts?
we're always dependent on the Lord. When we become consciously dependent on the Lord, then it's bhakti.
Mm.
We can't live without him. It's not possible.
Yes.
He is the source of everything. He's between everything. His energies control everything. No, there's no one who can live outside of the Lord because outside of the Lord doesn't exist. But those who are covered by the material energy, they don't see their connection with the Lord. They just connect with the energy of the Lord. But the devotees know that behind the energy is the presence of the Lord, or the influence of the Lord, the energy of the Lord. But his direct energy is the bhakti energy, which connects you to him in a personal way. We're not interested in getting connected to his energy. We're interested in getting connected with him.
Mm.
That's
Alright. Because in this material world, even though our plans fail and we always feel that everything goes wrong, whatever we plan, but even then we don't depend on Lord. We just think our plans are failing. We'll, if not plan A, if plan B works or plan C works, like that, we'll always do other things, not coming to the Lord. That's what I was thinking recently. So,
yeah.
um,
When our plans are successful, we take credit. When our plans are not successful, we blame Krishna. That's what. Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
Our forgetfulness of the Lord causes us to think we are the doer.
Mm.
And we can make things happen by our intelligence. We should act with intelligence, but under the guidance of the proper activity. In other words, we should perform those activities that elevate our consciousness and not degrade our consciousness. Ordinary material activities, we don't have much to say about. Nobody can tell you how you should maintain your kitchen. You maintain your kitchen the way you want, so you can facilitate the process of cooking in the best way. That's it. And you can also think, well, maybe I can think, Krishna, teach me how best I can organize my house in such a way that I can facilitate everything I do as a devotional activity to you.
Mm.
So these practical things, we just have to use intelligence, that's all. But that intelligence is coming from Krishna. Krishna says, if you want intelligence, I give it. If you want forgetfulness, I give it. If you want remembrance, I give it. He says, I am the intelligence of the intelligent. You see, there are people who are intelligent, there's people who are more intelligent, there's people who have great intelligence, and there's people who have no intelligence.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
You see, certain cultures are more intelligent than other cultures, materially, not spiritually. And then you see certain cultures that are more intelligent spiritually than other cultures.
Maharaj,
So
can you give an example of that? Sorry, I didn't understand.
that's the history of worshiping God that comes in terms of, hundreds of years of worshiping the Lord. A certain intelligence builds within the culture. And then those who don't worship God, or atheists or secularists or agnostic, they have material intelligence, but that's all. And some of them don't even have that. There's two kinds of intelligence. That intelligence that takes you to Krishna, and that intelligence that helps you manipulate the material energy. I could use a practical example now. Maybe you won't like it. Should I say it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, the United States is fighting with Iran now. Iran is a very intelligent culture. If you know the Iranian people, they're very intelligent. And so they're going to show their superiority in using their intelligence in warfare. That's why. That culture is very intelligent. I know many Iranian people, and they're very intelligent, extremely intelligent as a culture. And they also have Sakriti in devotion also from their histories going back so many years. So yeah, intelligence is different from culture to culture, from person to person, like that. But then there's two kinds of intelligence. That which is beneficial and that which is unbeneficial. Material intelligence just manipulates the material energy to help you control the material energy more. But then again, there's a suffering that comes with that control, because ultimately material energy works under Krishna's intelligence. So you're seeing it. You see different situations in the world with different people. Sometimes Prabhupada would say to a devotee would say, I don't have any intelligence. And Prabhupada would say, well, then get some. It's available. Intelligence connects the soul to Krishna. So to practice devotional service requires intelligence. So you might say, I don't have any intelligence. Then work with somebody who can give you intelligence, who can guide you, who can share their intelligence with you, and you can also learn from them like that. So, and that's also can be done through reading scripture, through hearing from spiritual master, through successfully practicing bhakti, intelligence and develops automatically. Intelligence is higher than the mind because it controls the mind.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, we are getting, we are using our intelligence to apply the knowledge in our daily life.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, the knowledge is there. How are you going to apply it?
Yes.
So there's people in the material world, like the demons are really intelligent, many of them. Super intelligent. They know how to control the material energy to make people think and work according to what they want. Yeah, that's called duskritina. Kritina means meritorious, and duskritina means meritorious in the wrong way, negative. And then you have sukritina, which is meritorious in the right way. One is beneficial for oneself, and the other one is beneficial for everyone, including oneself.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
If we read the books, our intelligence will become stronger and more steady. We chant the holy name, that will inspire the intelligence, because the soul also has complete and perfect intelligence. If you bring the soul's intelligence to the material mind, then it purifies the material mind, and then one acts on the spiritual platform.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Intelligence is karmic also. People have intelligence coming from previous births like that.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Such an elaborate answer. Thank you so much. So shall we end the call here? It's more than 1.5 hours, Maharaj, today. So
Well, yes, Shrimati might get mad at me if I don't end the call.
yeah, very much. I just want to share tomorrow's class details, Maharaj. Devotees, any last minute questions or comments?
Okay.
Tomorrow's class is with Bhakti Sangha devotees, and the verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 20, and verse number 11. 8, 20, 11.
Okay, and that's 20 minutes later.
Yes, Maharaj, that's 20 minutes later than our regular time.
Okay. We'll be here tomorrow.
Yes,
Good. I think you wanted to talk to me. You can call me at the end after this class is over.
yes, Maharaj. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on the class today. We hope that devotees can take something away from every class that they can use to increase their bhakti, to increase their knowledge. So we always try to take something away that will be beneficial in our practice.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you
See
so
you
much.
all tomorrow. I'll share the link in the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Ajay.
Hare Krishna, Guru
Thank you
Maharaj.
so